For me, there could be no higher public service than serving as a member of the United States Supreme Court.
President Obama has named Merrick Garland as his Supreme Court nominee to replace the late Antonin Scalia. The 63-year-old became Chief Judge of the U.S. Court of Appeals in Washington back in 2013. The move sets up a likely showdown with Republican leaders in the Senate who have vowed to block any nomination until after the November election. Now, Garland has a long resume, including supervising the investigation into the Oklahoma City bombing. Timothy McVeigh of Pendleton was convicted and executed for the crime in 1995. News 4's Jen Shantz tells us more about how that prosecution had an impact on Garland.
Well, Don, Garland said today, standing next to President Obama, that he's seen, quote, up close the devastation that can happen when someone abandons the justice system as a way of resolving grievances and instead takes matters into his own hands. He continued to say the people of Oklahoma City gave him and his team their trust. Garland spoke about the importance of gaining the trust of witnesses and victims right from the start. He mentioned that as the cornerstone of one of his earlier prosecutions of a gang in New York City that had taken over a public housing building. Here he is, you can see there, back in the mid-90s, speaking to reporters about Terry Nichols, who was convicted of being an accomplice in the 1995 bombing of the Murrah Federal Building, which killed 168 people.
The purpose of today's hearing was an initial appearance in this district of Terry Nichols. He was informed of the charge, which is a violation of 18 U.S.C. 844F, which is maliciously using an explosive device to destroy a building used by federal agencies. And this had to do with the destruction of the Murrah building.
Now, Garland's background is actually really similar to Supreme Court justices. He's a Harvard graduate who served on the D.C. Circuit Court, widely viewed as the country's second most powerful court for 19 years. Live in the studio, Jen Shantz, News 4 at 6.